sometimes they get a mix up there.
Yeah, no, I took somebody else's spot.
Okay. You saw the film last
so
night?
it's nice.
Did you enjoy
yeah,
it?
I'm impressed. And I like the timing. It's so hard to get it right.
How do you mean the timing?
The comedic
Oh
timing.
yeah, the comic. Great.
Especially with actors of that age and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, just to start off the interview, I was wondering how actually did you manage to put everything together to get the sort of comedic timing right in that picture?
I don't know. Technically, I don't know. I just, I approach every script just instinctively, I suppose. And this movie, I knew that had to be funny, but it was also a drama, and it's also an aspirational sports movie, so it had lots of different elements. I think, if a script is well written, as this one was, and one of the writers on it was a woman called Leslie Dixon, who worked on Freaky Friday, another Disney film, which was a very funny film. And so the dialogue was witty and funny anyway, so that if people play it truthfully, the comedy will emerge. And the timing comes also in the editing. It's difficult to analyze how one creates that, but I knew that certain scenes had to be definitely comedic and others more serious and dramatic and others exciting, the sports scenes. So the mixture of all these is what makes the film interesting, I think.
Because it doesn't, having looked back to your previous work and also like theater or Brookside, stuff like that, the film looks very American to me, I must say.
Well, that's good. That's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the aim.
Achieve that.
I think that, well, hopefully whenever I work on something, I lay myself open to whatever that script is. I know I have a style, but within that, hopefully you adapt also to the style of the particular script or the particular movie. And here I was hired to do a Disney teen girl family movie, so it had to fulfill those kind of requirements. But within that, hopefully I try to do something a little different, more interesting with that genre. So the films that inspired me to do that have come out recently were Freaky Friday and School of Rock. Different films, more comedic probably. This is slightly more of a dramatic story, although it's still fun and entertaining. But those films were done by very interesting filmmakers, Mark Waters and Richard Linklater. And so it's interesting to see filmmakers of that caliber taking on a kind of mainstream Hollywood movie and doing something interesting with it and still making successful movies. So that was the challenge for me, to try and do that kind of thing in a slightly different style. But
And what was the biggest obstacles in production?
I think, well, the backdrop of this movie, as you know, is figure skating. And that's quite difficult to film in a dynamic kind of way. Also, the two main girls in the film, Michelle Trachtenberg and Hayden Panettiere, who play Casey and her friend Jen, were not skaters. We cast them because they were great actresses and they were funny and also dramatic actresses and up-and-coming teenage stars. And we didn't cast them because they were good at ice skating. In fact, they didn't ice skate when we cast them. So in the 3 to 4 months leading up to the beginning of shooting, they both underwent intensive training on the ice with skating coaches, ballet training, gymnastics, to become really comfortable on the ice, because I knew that it would be very difficult to film an actress who couldn't skate at all just from the head up and then have somebody else's feet all the time. There is a little bit of that in the movie, but I had to be able to film them skating for real. So that was a big challenge. And then also to just work out how to film all the different skating sequences through the movie in an exciting and dynamic way, not like a TV broadcast, but like a real movie, so that you felt that you were there with these skaters, very close to the ice. And that was a big challenge, and that took a long time and a lot of working out and storyboards. But that was part of the whole excitement for me. I'd never done anything like that. I like, when I'm doing a new film, to have some challenge that is completely new And that was part of the challenge for me.
And how was it different to shoot in the US compared to the UK?
Not so different. Well, we shot the film actually in Toronto. I mean, it's an American film, but it was shot in Toronto, so a lot of the crew were Canadian, and they were terrific. Not so different. I mean, you know, I would apply the same kind of methods. I think, you know, it was more the fact that I had in my head that this is a Hollywood movie that has to do a certain kind of job and has to be popular and has to be entertaining and wants to reach a wide audience. So it was more, you know, this isn't a little independent film. This is a major studio film. So one is trying to make it as entertaining and popular as possible whilst still being dramatically truthful.
Mm. And with your career, the way it's going right now, are you happy with it?
Yeah, I'm delighted that I made this film. I'm proud of this film. I think it's pretty different from some of the stuff that I've done, but to me it still feels like one of my films. You know, there's a lot of, I guess, my trademarks in it, and it's, you know, I think it's psychologically truthful, I think it's dramatic, I think it's quite moving as well as funny, but it's a more commercial and popular film than I've done before, and obviously I wanted to do a film like that, and I'm excited to see how it goes down, and also excited to see what happens next. You know, I would love to work again in Europe, but also in America, and hopefully this is opening more doors for me.
Are there any projects geared up right now?
I mean, not immediately, because films take so long to happen, and I'm quite happy to have a little break, because I've been working non-stop for a year on this. But there are a lot of things in development, some here and some in Europe. So maybe I'll do a film in Europe next, because that's slightly further along in the development process. But I very much want to do another film here before too long.
How was it working with somebody who's so popular like Michelle?
Michelle, she was great. I mean, she is very popular from Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Eurotrip, but this was her biggest role to date. She really, you know, she's the star of the film. I mean, we also have Joan Cusack and Kim Cattrall, who are fantastic and well-known and actresses with long careers. But Michelle is newer, younger. She had a real freshness and innocence. She has a real comedic talent as well, and the ability to do strong dramatic scenes, and she had to work incredibly hard. I mean, she was on set virtually all day, every day. She's in virtually every scene in the film. She was delightful. We got on really well, and I think she gives a great performance and a great sort of journey. She creates a great journey for the character from this sort of awkward, gawky, shy schoolgirl who's not very confident to, you know, this adolescent who's growing up, gaining in confidence, falling in love for the first time. So she really had to have a lot of sides to her performance, and I think she does that beautifully.
And you created truly some magic with this picture. So I was just wondering, when you look back in your career, what are the experiences that made this possible, you would think?
In my career?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's very nice of you to say that. I don't know. You know, I'm inspired by all kinds of things, by movies that I've seen, by paintings that I've seen, by just my own life. I mean, in the case of this film, you know, the thing that really interested me was that I could relate to this story of a girl who's trying to follow her own dreams against the wishes of her mother, who wants her to follow her dreams. And that was very true in my life. You know, I wanted to be a director, and my mother wanted me to go into business, you know, and so I had some point of contact with this story. And then once you have that, then I think the visual images follow that, but you need to have you need to feel a passion for the story, and then the visual images are not so difficult to, they come out of that.
I bet your mother's proud now.
Yeah, wherever she is.
Thank you very much for the interview.
Bye. It's great.